Hello everybody, welcome to another watercolor tutorial. We are going to be painting a very moody painting today, inspired by katherineamble. I'll include her in the description. So you want to start with your watercolor piece of paper landscape-wise, and you're going to be working with a lot of black and gray, maybe even some blue. But this is going to be a very moody painting. So I'm gonna flip it into portrait mode, and a little more than halfway down you're going to create a horizon line, and you want to be as straight as you can going all the way across. Okay, and we are going to drag this out all the way up. So just wetting our paper, and by the way, this works really well with cotton paper. The water is just absorbed and held very well by cotton paper, and allows you to just keep piling on layer after layer without compromising the integrity of the paper. I did not work with cotton paper for the first, I don't know, 2.5 years, and I just used the cheaper stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that, but my god, is it easier to use cotton paper. Like, you have so much more time to paint details because the paint dries slower. So I recommend cotton paper if you have the budget for it. And there are some budget friendly brands. Like, I love Arteza cotton paper. I don't know how much it costs now, but back in the day when I got it, it was a really affordable price and much better than some other very popular, well-known brands. So just keep that in mind. So I've just applied another really dark layer of black watercolor along my horizon line, and I'm just holding my piece of paper downwards, and I want that watercolor to bleed downwards. So I'm just applying even more, watered down almost, and I'm just letting that bleed down. Now, I don't like this situation that's going on here, so I'm going to help it along. And there's just no way that I could have done this with some non-watercolor pieces of paper. Like, sorry, I should correct myself. I could do this, it's just it would not be as easy. It would, the paper would dry quicker, the watercolor would not flow as smoothly downwards as it does with cotton paper. And perhaps that's actually better, because you learn a lot more when you're working with subpar materials. I know that I learned a lot more when I was teaching tutorials with non-cotton paper, and I was teaching tutorials with Walmart quality paints, and the paints that I use even now. This set right here is a $30 half pan set. It really doesn't have to be And you know, honestly, if I tried the more expensive watercolor paints, I would probably notice a huge difference, and I would think, how did I struggle with $30 watercolor paints for so many years? But you know, it's all I have ever known, and it works for me. But who knows, maybe there are problems that I experience now that I wouldn't experience if I just used higher quality paints. It's totally possible, but it is what it is. Okay, so you can just keep applying that paint to the bottom there until you're happy with the gradient. I just wanted a lighter portion sort of roughly in the middle of my painting. While that is drying, we can go ahead and paint the bottom part of our horizon. So it's going to be sort of a lake scene. So I'm going to rinse my brush so that it doesn't have as much black on it. And I'm just gonna create like a wavy lake scene. And the white, so the negative space, in this case it's white, is going to be like an icy, snow-covered area. So I'm just filling that in with a gray shade. So now what we're going to do is create like a darker section just along the bottom part to create a shadow. So along here, along here, and I'm gonna do that again with a smaller brush. Just to concentrate the pigment a little bit. Just adding some glare reflections in the water here. Because I'm hoping to paint like a tree or something coming from somewhere. I'm just gonna paint those shadows again. Now this ice, it's supposed to be ice, it's looking a little bit too white. So I am going to just add, you know, a touch of gray over top. And see, this is what I was trying to avoid. I should have waited until the water portion was dry before adding this, but as usual, I'm not patient enough. So now we're gonna try and clean that up. Okay, so I want to add some sort of detail to this so that it doesn't just look like nothing. And I'm thinking, where can I add trees or something growing? Perhaps I can just add reeds coming from the water itself. The thing is, the water is not completely dry, so it's bleeding. Bleeding when I don't want it to is just very annoying to me. I'm also going to add some rocks, but I'm gonna dry this first, I think, because first I'm gonna add the reflections, since it's okay if the reflections bleed. So you have to kind of estimate what your rocks are going to look like. Okay. Perhaps that's a bit too many rocks, but let's let this dry and then we'll come back. So you want to paint your rocks right above your shadows. So they have to be touching. That was perhaps a few too many rocks. I never paint the shadows first, and that is my mistake. Like, the shadows should come after the rock. You can't anticipate what your rock is gonna look like. I can't. I'm just adding some super thin lines coming from the rocks to look like little ripples. Now I want to create a reflection from these reeds, but I'm a bit nervous. I should have done it while the background was still wet. But let's make an attempt. That looks like a mess down there. Oh well. I'm just gonna switch brushes here to my quadruple zero real quick. Add some little thin growths in random locations to make this look a little bit more suitable to the eye. So I primarily used black in this painting, but you can add some blue or green to add color, like a little pop of color. I like some of this grass peeking out onto the ice. But I think that might be it for my little moody lake. I hope you guys enjoyed this simple tutorial. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit like on this video, and I'll see you in the next one.